So last week, before I started shoving food down my throat, I said that Power Rangers by Boom Studios is actually my most anticipated comic of the year. And I wasn't joking either. I have a soft spot for the Power Rangers, especially the original Mighty Morphin era. It surprises me that it's taken this long to get a true ongoing series based on this show out to the public. We have ongoing comics about just about everything these days. There was an attempt 4 years ago by Paper Cuts to put out an ongoing Power Rangers comic, but that seems to have vanished from the face of the earth. Seriously, I can't really find that much about it. It came out in 2012 and there's virtually nothing on the internet about it. Only that they released 2 trades, but they don't say how many issues take up each trade. So here's hoping that this new series doesn't get lost to history. In fact, these are some things I kind of want to see from this particular run of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, this new Power Rangers comic being written by Kyle Higgins is taking place during the original Mighty Morphin era of the show. That means it's the first 3 seasons, aka the one everybody remembers. Which is good. Keep this in the classic era. The people who are going to be reading this are probably people like me who grew up with Mighty Morphin, and maybe a few kids who are currently watching the new Nickelodeon series and want to know where the show came from. You can hint at future series like Zeo and Wild Force and so on, but let's be real here. We're coming for Mighty Morphin. Maybe do a quick mini-series for the other versions of Power Rangers. Kind of like how Titan is putting out mini-series on the classic Doctor Who's, whereas the modern ones are getting ongoings. But this ongoing should definitely stay in the Mighty Morphin era. And if you're going to be gearing this towards people like me, maybe try and make it a little bit more mature as well. Not too mature. I don't want it to be like that Adi Shankar and Joseph Kahn short film where it was all dark and violent and Zack is having a drugged out threesome. By mature, I mean the way it treats its audience. Make it seem like this is a comic written for adults by adults that can also be shown to kids. Kind of like what Kyle Higgins did with his Batman Beyond comic. Speaking of that comic, it acted as a direct continuation to the Batman Beyond animated series. And while I don't think Power Rangers should be a direct continuation of the show, it should definitely be in the same universe, in the same continuity even. Maybe do sequels and spin-offs to classic episodes. The first story arc is supposed to be Green Ranger Year 1, about Tommy's first year as a Power Ranger and still trying to get Rita out of his head. That's a good start. But while you should definitely try and be faithful to the show, don't be afraid to experiment, especially with the timeline. I'm assuming that the original Dinozords are going to be the main robots of this series, but I'd rather see the Thunder and Ninja Zords. Those are my favorites, and that means we get to see the White Ranger as well. Maybe do a story where they get to use all of their Zords. Maybe do something where Tommy's the White Ranger, but somebody else is the new evil Green Ranger. Basically, I want to have my cake and eat it at the same time. I mean, come on, an ongoing Power Rangers comic makes all the sense in the world, and the fact that it hasn't been exploited in this way before is really disappointing to me. I know Kyle Higgins will do an excellent job. His Nightwing comics were the best that the character had been in a decade, and his previously mentioned Batman Beyond comic shows that he can do justice to a show from his youth. But with Power Rangers, he can go further. He's already updated them to use smartphones and have modern fashion. Go big or go home, man. Take it to the next step. Man, thinking of the possibilities made me more excited now than it was at the beginning of this episode. Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet what you want out of this new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic. What were some of your favorite eras of Power Rangers? Or are you more of a VR Troopers or Beetleborgs type kid? Remember, the schedule's all screwy now. My stuff's still Wednesdays, but Bob does his game stuff on Tuesday now. And tonight at 9 is Wulff Den Live. Tomorrow we'll upload the archive show for you to watch whenever the hell you want. And we'll put the audio up on iTunes in podcast form shortly thereafter. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you next time. Because this is the original Megazord right here, but that isn't necessarily my favorite. My favorites was the second one, the Thunder Zords.
Oh god, the Thunder Megazord was awesome.
Ninja Zords.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me personally, I like this.
Zords?
Yeah.
The Ninja Zord was really cool too.
Yeah, with the Falcon.
Yeah.
We'll start with Superman since he was the original hero. Now, I gotta say, I kind of like what they did with the outfit. It's a close-up of his chest, but I don't know if you could see it here. They got a lot of details in the S. You can really see it looks very Kryptonian in origin, not like, you know, the traditional comics where the costume looks Earth-made.